Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and this video is going to be a little bit of an XRP community member highlight from two individuals. The meat of what I'm going to be covering here comes from XRP Twin on Twitter, who tagged me, along with some others in the XRP community, with his latest blog here, titled Money, Money, Money. So I'm going to be running through this with you. A lot of it has to do with... It was spurred from the $10 billion valuation of Ripple and the Series C $200 million investment round. So lots of thoughts on that, so I want to run through that. I've also got an update on the whole, if you saw one of my videos the other day, you may be aware of this, the whole Tone Vase potentially debating somebody in the XRP community. Because he just frankly doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. So I got a little bit of an update on that. And then I've got another piece. There's part of this I'm going to highlight. I don't want the video to go too long, so I'm just going to cover part of this. This is a piece titled, Is Ripple's XRP Token a Security, and What Happens if the SEC Regulates It as One? This piece is rather in-depth. I'm going to cover the portion that specifically pertains to what would happen if XRP were to be deemed a security by the SEC. But before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button, but don't get all smashy with it. You don't want to break the damn thing. And do this. Go ahead and give yourself an early Christmas present by subscribing to the Moon Lambo channel. It's a gift. It's the gift that keeps on giving all year long, and you deserve it. You've been very nice, not naughty. So go ahead. I know it's Christmas Eve. You can have a day early. Go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel, and you are welcome for all of the content, because this is obviously the best channel on YouTube. I think we're all in agreement on that, right? The very best channel on all of YouTube. All right, let's go ahead and jump in now. So, again, this is from XRP Twin. A company that has a lot of liquidity doesn't need money, or do they? The world, the cryptocurrency industry, the XRP community were fed with the following tweet, and this is from Ripple. We are thrilled to announce our $200 million Series C, an investment that marks a record year of company growth. This round was led by Tetragon along with SBI Holdings and Route 66 Ventures. And by the way, this is all on his blog on the xrpcommunity.blog, so you can check it out there. Why does a company with a lot of money need money? Why a Series C and why $200 million? The round was led by Tetragon together with SBI, well known by the XRP community, and Route 66 Ventures. A lot of rumors, everybody knows what is happening, but what is happening? What is a Series C investment round? Let's take a look at all the different series fundings, and let's discuss what a funding could be for. Although the market is still very young, read industry, Ripple is not unknown in the financial market. Bitcoin, you can think of it what you want, started this all, and because of the scarcity, it is a cryptocurrency that needs to be looked at. Looking at its flaws as it is, it will not be the coin to take over the international transaction industry. Max of 21 million coins, probably 5 million are gone forever. 16 million coins are not enough coins to stay at the low price where it sits at the moment. For me, that is a supply and demand situation, and with or without flaws, it will stick around for a little longer. Its use case, although a lot would like to say none are buying / selling other cryptocurrency, and you can use it for products in the real world out of there, pizza, it became clear that the use case becomes more and more important. No use case, no future for a lot of coins / tokens, according to even Brad Garlinghouse. Continuing on, Ripple in the financial market, you can be pro, you can be against, but that they have a use case or making steps and are used, and I'm talking about software here, is a reason for businesses with the California-based cryptocurrency. Funding. Why and how does that work? Well, potential investors at particular moments look at companies and rate them on particular points. Where does the company stand? What has the management team done in the last years? Agenda. What has been done? Have deadlines been met? Market size, and of course, risk. Does the company have a selling product, and where does this product stand in the world it sells to? Does it actually have a market, and do they have market share? I am not discussing the early stage funding rounds, as these are not relevant. the so-called pre-seed funding, pre-seed capital or pre-seed money, and seed funding, which is a seed money or seed capital. These rounds of funding most of the time do not go beyond $1 million, a couple $1 million. Angel investors are well known to invest in this kind of funding round. Besides these, businesses can choose to do a Series A, B, and or C funding rounds. Now, this is where it starts to get interesting, and consider again, Ripple just went through Series C, so keep that in the back of your mind as I'm covering this for you. Okay, so Series A. After the seeding round, Series A is the first venture capital funding for a startup. In traditional finance companies, it refers to the class of preferred stock sold. Funding is larger than the seeding rounds and is mostly a couple tens of millions of dollars. It is the first injection for a company to make moves, invest, and go to the next level. Doing a Series A funding, you start with an accelerator. An accelerator takes a set amount of seed equity from a number of young startups in exchange for capital and mentorship. An accelerator looks at track record and helps a business taking the right steps. The company's strategy and magic is very important and is the success factor of the funding. Now, the money funding comes from often from traditional venture capital firms like Sequoia, Benchmark, Greylock, and Accel. The single investors may be interesting anchors, but most of the time, additional investors are looked for. Angel investors are also a group of investors that are active in this kind of series funding, but most of the time, the amounts are already too high. And then there's Series B. Series B rounds also take companies to a next level, but more money is involved. The company has been developed, a strategy has been determined, and the short future is very clear. Success is a definite and allows the company to talk to the bigger investors. More money is needed to head the company in the direction it wants to move into. Companies undergoing a Series B funding round are well known in the industry and are taking the step. It is the airplane that flies around the famous point of no return. It is go time. The valuation of the company is between $20 and $75 million. And then there's Series C, and again, this is what Ripple most recently went through. Success has been a key factor, and a new funding round is available. New products need to be introduced and developed, and that is why money is needed. Investors are in it to win it. 100% profit is, most of the times, a minimum when looking at the potential of the investment. Scaling the company, fast growth are synonyms for Series C funding. There are two reasons why Series C funding is done. Number one, for acquisition, and number two, to support a public offering. And also, I'll cite this too, for acquisition, sure, but also if they're going to make acquisitions, right? Anyway, Series C funding is often around $50 million to $150 million. Hedge funds, investment banks, and private equity firms are businesses to reach out to if you are looking for Series C funding. Now, acquisition could be one of the reasons to go through a Series C funding. The traditional approach, gaining market share, may not go fast enough, so a Series C funding is used. Money is needed to acquire competitors or key players to move faster than without the acquisition. The other reason why companies go through Series C funding is to boost their valuation in anticipation of an IPO. Now, an IPO, initial public offering, a stock market launch, for example, is an offering in which the company shares are sold to institutional investors and usually retail investors. Facts are hard data are more important than future success. Still important, though. Customers, revenue streams, and track records are ingredients for a successful Series C funding. And look, an IPO may happen, but I suspect if it's going to happen, probably not anytime in the immediate future. That's just my Moon Lambo guess there. All right, now Series C funding, what do we know, acquisition or IPO? Ripple's Series C funding is $200 million, which is very high. It was led by Tetragon and with participation from SBI Holdings and Route 66 Ventures. These notable investors not only underscore Ripple's long-term potential, but as partners they offer invaluable industry insight and expertise to help Ripple's business grow on a global scale. Looking at the track record, more than 300 customers worldwide, including the heavyweight partner MoneyGram. So yeah, of course, it's clear they're on the right track. So anyway, so what will happen, acquisition or IPO? This section is going to be an IMO, in my own opinion. That's what XRP Twin writes here. Looking back at the earlier investment rounds, Ripple has had 13 funding rounds, angel funding, seed funding, multiple Series A and B funding. In total, what is publicly known, Ripple has raised $121.6 million in those 13 rounds. 13 rounds, $121 million, one round, $200 million. That is already an achievement by itself. So why so much money if you already have so much money? To acquire businesses. There you go. And that's more the path that I was thinking too. So Ripple has shown they want to become the world leader in the international payment industry, but there is more. I see this money raised to make a difference to become the world leader in the DeFi industry, gaming industry, micropayment industry, and smart contract industry. And of course, by the way, and I'll say this too before covering a little bit further, Ripple has been buying out companies lately, and I've covered that. Not in this order, but not all of them, maybe others, but Ripple is not only international payments. The DeFi industry has awoken the XRP community, the crypto market, and it is a big industry tokenizing all traditional financial vehicles. It is a world on its own, and Ripple wants to play a role in it. We hear DeFi all around us, acquiring logos. The decentralized payments platform by Spring was a first clear sign. Derivatives, loans, futures, and forwards will be given more attention. If you wonder why XRP needs money, quote, money, for such a rich company, getting a Series C funding, I see it a little different. Yes, they have money, but the money is more into digital assets, XRP. If they would use those for an acquisition, the XRP, need to be sold if money needs to go from Ripple to somebody else. That is selling a lot of XRP. Not good for the price of it. Not sure if all banks and financial institutions would like this. And we are absolutely not there yet. So XRP, again, they're being good. Ripple is being good stewards of the XRP they hold and helping the ecosystem to thrive. And so they really are using it just to selling it as the liquidity is necessary. That's why they're not selling much at all, frankly. All right. But anyway, so that's pretty much the gist of it. I thought it was an interesting take, and so I wanted to share it with you. And I love highlighting. When other members of the XRP community are highlighting, I like to, from time to time, highlight them and just kind of spread a little attention their way. So if you like that, I encourage you, if you're on Twitter, to consider following XRP Twin if you're already not. It's at XRP Twin. All right, next here. This was written by Anthony Baladon, and it's titled, "Is Ripple's XRP token a security, and what happens if the SEC regulates it as one?" Well, to cover this whole thing, it would be too in-depth, but I still felt like highlighting this, and I wanted to cover just the tail end, because there's a section titled, subheading, "What happens if the SEC were to classify XRP as a security?" And then it reads as follows. This is pretty short. In June 2018, the SEC chairman said that they would not change the definition of a security on the back of the rise in cryptocurrencies. It is therefore unlikely that XRP will be classified as a security in the near future, but what would happen if it did? If XRP was classified as a security, then Ripple would be beholden to its shareholders. Anyone that owned XRP would own a share of Ripple, the company. In this case, purchasing XRP, the digital asset, would be the same as buying a share in Ripple, like you would on the New York Stock Exchange or any other global exchange. Most analysts expect that were XRP to be classified as a security, there would be a massive sell-off of the cryptocurrency, causing the price to plummet. Those who do not sell their coins would be, as mentioned before, shareholders of Ripple, which would be free to list on traditional stock exchanges such as New York Stock Exchange, Hong Kong, and London, which would potentially open it up to more investors who were either skeptical about the coin's legitimacy or were institutional investors prohibited from any type of speculation. By the way, I just want to be clear, me, Moon Lambo, speaking here now, this is not going to happen. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't believe that XRP is a security or that would ever be deemed one. All right, now on the downside, it would make Ripple's intended use as a cross-border money transfer much more difficult to liquidity restrictions which arise from its security classification and SEC regulation, which has an entirely different legal framework. Yeah, well, and on top of that, it would be problematic for the same reason that you wouldn't want to use just your stocks that you own as a bridge currency. Think about all of the red tape that is associated with that. And all the implications in terms of fees associated with that, tax implications, not good. So it wouldn't be good. And of course, this is a whole global thing, so, not necessarily that the rest of the world will follow suit, but it would be hairy. Anyway, and then it wraps up by stating, for the moment, it is unlikely that XRP will be classified as a security since it doesn't comply with the Howey test, and the SEC would need to write the classification process for digital assets in cryptocurrencies. This may happen, but would likely have strong resistance from crypto-based firms. That means that XRP is free to be used for its intended purpose of cheap, fast international money transfers. And we already know that it's, the UK, the Financial Conduct Authority over there, is classified it as utility token. That might have been the way they phrased it. It was something to that effect. It was utility, and maybe they used the word token, but it was clear that it was not a security as positioned by the UK. So there you go. Anyway, that's it for this video, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything, because of anything that I say or write, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!